lot of bad press about the shooting that's been happening in London this year. However, I'd like to interview young people and let them have their own view and tell us what they think about the shootings. We're going to be looking at films, radio clips, newspaper cuttings, and then have a discussion. I would like to use this as a platform for young people to take a look at and for them to come up with their own conclusions about these events that's been having this year.
This week, BBC London commissioned research into teenage views of teen crime in London. In particular, the poll examined how our teenagers feel about the current wave of violent crime in our capital. This year has seen a record number of London's teenagers die due to knife and gun attacks. In light of this, BBC London commissioned research into how the capital's teenagers deal with this everyday threat. 500 teenagers from 5 London boroughs were polled, and the responses were shocking. A third said they knew a victim of knife crime, and nearly a fifth said they knew someone who was pressured into joining a gang. Derrek Bennett's a young budding journalist who has worked here at BBC London, and he joined me on air to tell us about the fatal shooting of his friend Nathan. I asked Derrek, who's from Brixton, to describe in his experience the culture and outlook of people who live life by the gun and by the knife.
The outlook on life is quite bleak. It has to be if you feel that you can wake up in the morning and take someone else's life, or you're prepared to die for whatever it is, words or anything, a look. So that's what I'm saying. It's a respect. A lot of that is respect. They have a lack of respect for themselves, but yet again they want everybody else to respect them. Where's the sense in that?
But why? Why do they have a lack of respect for themselves?
Because they're putting themselves in positions where they could potentially take someone else's life or their own,
But tell me about, for example, because what we would like to believe is that you and all your mates had the opportunity to go to school, to be taught the national curriculum, the same as everybody else in any other school.
Well, I know a lot of my friends that didn't turn out quite so positive felt that there wasn't enough one-on-one tuition, but a teacher cannot dedicate all his or her time to every single individual in the school because there's so many.
Of course not.
There might be different students with learning rates and learning difficulties and etc. A lot of things are happening within households. So I'm not going to say, they need to have somebody in the school which can devote their time to each and every student.
But are you saying you knew lots of people who, by the time they got to school, because of their home life, just couldn't learn? They weren't in a state to learn. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Right.
You're not like the average guy that will go home, have his dinner, do his studies, go to bed, wake up in the morning, all jolly with his big school bag and go to school. A lot of them are faced with, we need to make this money, mate. So a lot of them are on the roads with the elders as well. So people on your estate, you refer to them as your elders, the people that you look up to and the people that will protect you under any circumstance.
So explain about the elders. How does a young kid get sort of taken up by these elders?
Depending on what the elders like.
Probably something illegal.
I was pleased to say that I had one elder that I looked up to that I still converse with today. He always told me, this isn't what I would like to do in my life, but this is the road that I inevitably have chosen, and I cannot do anything else positive anymore. Do you know what I mean? Right. So I don't want you to be like that. And when I grew up, I understood what he was trying to say to me.
Why? What was he doing?
He was basically trying to stop me from going on the same road that he did, and I'm very thankful to him up till today. That's why we still speak and everything's still, the connection's still maintained.
What life is he doing?
Well, he's forced to go down a road which is obviously not anybody's first choice. Rough lifestyles where he's not best friends with the police. Tell
me something. Are you being at all brave in coming in here?
Well, a lot of people would say I am. Do you know what I mean? But like I said before, I believe totally it starts within us as a people. So if I can start that positive ripple effect, I will do so, regardless of whatever situation occurs. I know I'm not disrespecting anybody else on the road by dumping them in any hot light or spotlight or anything. Do you know what I mean? So from when I'm not doing that.
But you know when you say on the road, and my partner Ben always talks about on the street, growing up on the street, and you say on the road and all of this kind of thing. And of course Ben grew up in a house. I've seen it. He didn't grow up in a street at all. And I don't assume you grew up on the road either. No. I assume you grew up in a flat or a house.
A lot of these kids actually come from good homes where their mum's phoning them. It's turned 7:30. They're saying, "Well, why aren't you home yet, William? Yo, mama, stop phoning me, mum. Leave me alone." And they come home. The dinner's on the plate, and they go to bed. "Oh, I love you, mum." They kiss their mum, etc., etc. Then they go out, and then the image switches on. Okay, my mum don't love me, my dad don't love me, etc., etc. So it is a big front, and I can't quite see. Like we all used to do it as kids. We all used to make out that there's no love in our home. But if you look close enough, there is love there. Your mum will still say, "Oh, I love you, son. Enjoy your day at school," and etc., etc. But a lot of these kids don't embrace that because it's not cool at that age.
So when we talk about gangster culture being cool, you're on the street suddenly. So suddenly you're a big man. You're walking the walk and talking the talk, as you said. And what are you trying to project? That you'd kill for your honour, or what the hell is going on.
Even down to that, there's a lot of the guys that will do that, and they don't necessarily aim to kill, but they might be forced to. For example, if I go out and I throw up that gangster image, and you're a person, and you actually enforce this, you live day by day, you know, your mum's not around, you grew up in care, you've been in and out of prison, I'm somebody that's come from a good background, and I'm throwing up that image, you're going to say, hold on, wait, let me see how real this guy is. Do you know what I mean? Then you're obviously going to enforce whatever you've learned in your life on me. And obviously, I haven't near enough been through any of the stuff you've been through. You've been to prison. Like I said, you're in and out of homes. You've had fights your whole life. And you're obviously going to take liberties with me because that's not my real lifestyle. And a lot of these kids do that. So they go in there half-heartedly and I might have to actually end up killing you because like I don't want to, but this is the image I've thrown up. Like, wait. That person's actually real. They've actually been in and out of prison. They've done time. They've been in and out of school, home. And you know we get.
And you couldn't say, do you know what, man? Yeah,
you're really.
You couldn't say, you are tough, and I'm not.
Yeah, you couldn't say.
You couldn't because what would happen if you said that?
That's it, you're the laughing stock.
There.
You're just going to get looked down on. And to be honest with you, at the bottom isn't the best way to be when it comes to the road life or the street life.
The road life, the street life, which I think is a total illusion. There's no such thing.
Kids need to understand there's greater surroundings, aren't there?
When you tell your spars or your mates, you know, I'm coming to work at the BBC, they look at you like you're going to work on Mars. What's so shocking? Because
the way they feel the system, in inverted commas, is built, like i.e. your surroundings or where we come from, our postal code, SW9, SW2, is built for us not to go here. Luckily, in my lifetime, I had a few good people. Like I said, I still credit these people. I owe them a lot, I believe. That's why I actually do what I do. I enforce positivity everywhere I go. I try and nurture the youngers and try and lead them onto a positive path, because this is exactly what was done to me, because I was one of the most negative people you could have ever met. Unsociable, everything, didn't want to talk to nobody, just angry at the world. But then these people actually saw the talent and the potential within me, which everybody else has within themselves, and it just has to be unlocked. But my head of year, Mr. Miller, he would actually sit me down and say, is this what you want to do? So he sort of took it upon himself to say, you know what, Derrek, I see so much potential in you.
Describe Mr. Miller. How old? What colour?
He's white, 35 right about now.
So youngish.
Of course, him, Mr. Tiverton, they can remember what I used to be like in school. Do you know what I mean? They saw the positivity within me and they just wanted to unlock it and unleash it.
And would you say on the record on the BBC that if it hadn't been for those couple of men actually putting themselves out to take a stand with you and try and show you, you'd probably be, where might you be? Probably in prison now or something like that?
Probably incarcerated, or probably not even here to speak to you.
Okay, Derrek, I'm so glad you came in.
With the interview with Vanessa Feltz, I do agree with the young man who says a lot of young people do come from good, stable homes with probably both parents who's working very hard, and they do act a certain way with their parents in the house. That's why I find when a lot of parents find out that their son's been shot or killed, they can't seem to understand why this would happen to their child, because obviously in the house the child is acting completely different to how he's going on the roadside, isn't it? On the other bit about Vanessa Feltz saying, oh, the kids are living on the streets or on the road, and she said the way she was going, she didn't understand the term. I think she was being a bit naive to think, because I don't think it's not a sense of them actually being living on the street, but they've taken on that persona of being brought up on the street, being brought up in that street life to actually go around rolling with guns and, you know, taking people's stuff, selling drugs and this, that. That's what it is. They are practically being grown up on the street, because that's what they've been growing up to do, to sell drugs and tours. So I think that's what they mean about being on the street and being growing up on the roadside and whatnot. Derrek, his name was Derrek, innit? He's very lucky to be working in the BBC, but that don't go for everyone, and that's what Vanessa Feltz is failing to realise. She was like, but you came here, why shouldn't you be able to get a job? But why would he get a job? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, certain black boys would go into a place wanting to get a job, and an employee might just say no, because obviously he probably has a past, and he's probably from an area, because I know that some jobs don't give young black people jobs because of the area they're from. If they know that, for example, they're from Stonebridge, that's just like a notorious area, so it's be like, this young black man's from Stonebridge, do I really want to hire him? So Vanessa Feltz needs to look at both sides. I don't think she was being a bit biased, I must say, because she should have had another young man in there, another young man who's actually been on the road and gone through the same sense, so they could actually have a constructive debate about what's actually happening. Derrek's very lucky, but there are very few. There are very few of Derrek, so I don't really agree with that.